It's Zarak from Chiropractic Dynamics, and well, if you're watching this, you probably know who both of us are, which is why we'll not be doing a really long intro, because when I'm listening to the podcast and this kind of thing, I just skip ahead on that part.
Me too.
You probably know who this man is, and if you don't, I would suggest go and listen to Johnny Reuter's podcast, because that was a really good intro if someone doesn't know you. Go watch the Legendary Chiropractor podcast. Today, I'm going to dive in a little bit deeper with one of my mentors, but for anyone that doesn't know you, just give us a little quick introduction.
Okay, yeah, thanks a lot for having me on your show, man. So I'm Aaron Morris. I've been practicing here in Barcelona for the last 15 years or so, and then I, along with Pat McMahon, my partner, we run Syntropy Chiropractic Training. So we do adjusting seminars all over the world, and yeah, so we're gonna have a little chat today.
Yeah,
cool.
And I have a couple of thoughts that are on my mind recently, and I thought it's good to have that. I like that format of the mentor talking to the mentee, and hopefully it benefits someone else as well.
I hope so as well.
This week, what's on my mind is, obviously, you know how BCC works. You know that I'm currently in clinic. I'm enjoying it. I love it. I see good results, and I love the group of patients that I've built. But as you know, we need case mix. So anyone that doesn't know what case mix is, you have a certain amount of disabled people, a certain amount of pregnant people, a certain amount of geriatrics, a certain amount of psychosocial people that you have to attract in and adjust. Now, my first visits, I'm almost done for 4th year and 5th year. I had a lot of people come in.
Amazing.
I think I need like 4 more first visits, and I've met that requirement.
Right on.
But all of my patients are young, late 20s, early 30s, young professionals. They look after themselves. They're out there doing stuff in the world, getting shit done, doing some gangster stuff. And they are healthy people doing this cool stuff, and they just want me to help facilitate that and help them reach their goals.
Got it.
So those are the people that I attract, but my problem is I don't really have much in common with old people. We don't hang around in the same social circles. We're not matching on Tinder very much, this kind of thing. And I was just wondering, maybe you have a couple of thoughts on that, like who are you attracting into your practice, and if you can get other people, other demographics, how would you advise to go about that?
Okay, so that's a really great question. First of all, you've got to have it real clear what your ideal person is. It sounds like, and we're having a chat about this earlier, about how you're attracting all these people into your practice, and I said, did you consciously do that? Did you write down exactly what you wanted? Because the idea is you want to have basically 2 or 3 avatars where you know exactly an age group, a sex, what do they do for a living, where do they hang out, what do they talk about, what do they think about, what are their values, and get really, really clear on at least one group, like where do these people hang out, what are they about, what do they enjoy doing? And as soon as you've got that real clear in your mind, then it just becomes energetics, which you've already been experiencing, which is really cool, man. Like in clinic that you're already experiencing that. A lot of chiropractors I know, they don't have that clarity, and they don't have that real clear in their energy and their mind what they want. So they attract whatever kind of comes in. And it's like they have people in their practice they don't love. Right. So I would say definitely do that with, your question is a little bit different. In practice,
it's a different scenario.
It's a different scenario because you get to attract who you really want. In clinic and school, you need certain numbers. So I would just say you're a very powerful guy, and just go and get real clear on, okay, I need to get, how many older people do you need to get in?
5 in total, so I had 1, so I need 4 more.
Then just, that's your number. That's what you're meditating on. You have that in your mind, and you just let them come to you. Because the best practices that I know, and I've been around chiropractic for about 20 years. The best chiropractic practices and chiropractors that I know, they really master this, and they've got it clear. Right. Because, you can do all the marketing in the world, and I recommend get good at marketing, but it's like, have it really clear in your mind first, and then the rest will come. You will be surprised. You'll be calling me in the next couple weeks telling me that you got some old folks starting care. I promise you that. Yeah, and because I find that with I'm traveling so much with Syntropy, that like a lot of times my energy is not in my practice, and then if it's not in your practice, it's staying stable, it's not growing, or it's dropping, and then obviously Syntropy is growing and it's going really great, but as soon as I get back into my practice and start putting some energy there, boom, it starts growing again.
So. An interesting thought I had on this was Audrey, her avatar, she graduated a year ago. She really resonates well with pregnant women. She loves helping them. She loves adjusting babies. Like if you talk to her about it, she just lights up. She's passionate about it. I don't have much in common. As you can see, I am not a woman. We don't have me and a 9 months pregnant woman. We don't really share the same problems. We're not really resonating on the same level.
Yeah.
I hope I get pregnant women in, but when that happens, a lot of people complain because they're like, oh, you know, how do we get pregnant women? 5 is too much. They need to lower the requirements, and they do this all this complaining. Audrey went out. She did a talk at Charla. I think she got like, I'm making this up, but like 20, 30 pregnant women. She had too many that she was like siphoning them off to other stuff. So I guess that kind of resonates with what you were saying, is she had clear in her mind the type of people that she wants to help. I like to help the type of people that I would like to hang around with anyway.
Yes, for sure.
You know, I don't want to hang around only with people that are like, oh, you know, life's so hard. I only want to talk about my pain. I like to hang out with people that are doing some stuff, maybe just not in chiropractic. They're doing some great stuff in the world, and they want to share that, and I can help them to achieve and attain their goals. So I guess, backs up what you were saying about your avatar. Yeah,
for sure. And what I think about was when I was in school, and this is if you're a chiropractor, it doesn't matter if you're a student or you're a chiropractor right now. It's all about your focus and where you're putting your focus, because that's where your attention goes. That's when things start flowing to you. And I remember when I was going into clinic, and I was really nervous. I was like, am I going to get through clinic? Am I going to get enough people? Are people going to like my adjustments? And then I went through, and I was learning how to play the guitar at the time. And I just took my guitar to the park. And then I was also learning Spanish at the time, to speak Spanish. Right. So I was pretty bad at both, but I didn't give a shit. I went anyway, and I brought a spine with me because it was like, okay, I'm getting ready to go into clinic. I brought the plastic spine. I'm sitting there trying to play guitar, and I see this lady. There's a bunch of people looking at me like, what the fuck's going on here? And then this one lady comes up. She was a Mexican lady. I was studying at Life West in California. And she kept looking at me, and I was looking at her, and we're going back and forth. And I finally was like, okay, I got to do this. And I went up and I said, columna, and she goes, sí, and she starts talking in Spanish. I didn't understand it, but I could understand that she was telling me she was having some issues. And so I just started chatting with her, and the best I could in Spanish. And I had a card for the clinic, and I gave her the card, and she came in, and she ended up bringing me probably 15 people. Wow. And then I was done like you in clinic. I was done very, very, very early, and realized, okay, this can be easy. And it was about the energy. I was excited about 3 things: guitar, Spanish, and then chiropractic, obviously. Right. And so those 3 things were the dominant energy, and that's what was attracted. So, yeah. Cool.
Some interesting points on what you just said. One, it can be easy if you're just clear on what it is that you want. Another, that's a cool reminder that at some point Aaron was nervous about meeting his clinic numbers.
Dude, I was scared. I was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it. We had pink slips. Like every time you got an adjustment, they gave you a pink slip, and it was like, God, am I gonna get the pink slips? And and all of a sudden it was just like start building confidence slowly but surely.
And that's something like to remember in chiropractic. It's an interesting point. I was speaking to a first year today, and he's like, oh, you know, like I want some help, like getting to Chiro Europe, like he's struggling with money, blah blah blah. And I was like, look, just ask some people, and they're going to help you out. They want to have you there at the seminar. And he's saying like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I said, listen, all the legends that you're speaking to now, they were all in the position that you are now. They were all once poor students. So if you put yourself out there and you provide something of value, and maybe you say, hey, if you help me out whenever I graduate, I'm going to help someone else out and I'm going to pass it on. Or maybe you make an arrangement with someone like, oh, I can do this for you to help you out and help you achieve your goals. They are going to help you out, but there has to be an exchange. But every legend, whether it's a legend in adjusting or communication or whatever it is, all of these guys were once a poor student. So just go out there and put yourself out there and do your time on the cross.
It's a great point, man. It's a great point, because a lot of times what we think is that, like, we think, and I see a lot of this in chiropractic, and I think it's got to change, and it starts as we're students, is that sometimes we expect stuff and we want to get stuff from people, and let's think about what I can give to people. Right. And it's like, I just need another patient so I can reach my numbers, or I need to have this experience so I can have miracles and I can talk about them from the stage, or I can talk about them with friends. And it's like,
that's the ego.
It's the ego, yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like, well, what can I offer you? What can I give you? I can give you my best adjustment, and that will give you better life and better health. And I promise you this, and you know this, you're seeing it already in clinic, and whoever's watching this, that you know that when you give like that from your heart and you're giving something out of pure quality because you really, really want to, it comes back big time. And so just keep that in mind, as you're going through, getting your numbers, and those old folks are going to be on their way because you're going to give them something beautiful for their life. Is that cool?
Yeah. And you said an interesting point there about the ego.
Yeah.
And a question I wanted to ask you, and it might help clarify things for other people. Sometimes, I can't speak for everyone, but for me at least, you'll be doing some adjustments, and maybe you see like a couple of results. Maybe you see some miracles. I'll share. Today, I had a patient come in. She's had some trauma in her life. She's had some abuse, and she has not been able to have sex for the last 3 years. And she's the same age as me. She's not like one of the old ladies that we're talking about. She's the same age as me, so that's having a big impact on her life. She's had 5-6 adjustments. Today she came in, all smiles, and she's like, I had sex for the first time in 3 years, and I did not have any pain.
Wow.
And she's delighted. So say you have
amazing, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome.
Good mentors, you see.
Cool.
Hang out with some gangsters and you'll do some gangster shit.
Right on.
That's what the title of the video is going to be. Let's say you have a few of those in a day. Like you're in practice, you're seeing a lot of people. I'm seeing, between 6 and 10 people in a shift.
Sure.
Let's say you have a couple of people who's coming in. They're like, oh, Zarak, oh, yeah, I can do this now. Or, oh, Aaron, this is going great. Aaron did this. Aaron did that. Mm-hmm. And then for you, like, you're going to a seminar and there could be 100 people there, maybe more. I love seeing Syntropy grow, by the way. I've seen it since it was so small, and now like you guys are rocking it.
Thanks.
And now you go and there's all these people like, oh, I want to be like Aaron when I grow up. And I'm like, I know, right? Like, and how do you deal with that, where you're having these results in clinic, you're seeing these things, and then you're going to a seminar and there's all these people like giving you all this praise and accolades? How do you then keep yourself grounded and not let that, I can't speak for everyone watching this, but I've had it where maybe I do a couple of really good adjustments, and then I'm like, oh, okay, now I've got it. Like I'm getting into the groove now. And then once you're in your ego, the next adjustment is shitty. The next adjustment is awful.
Still happens, brother. Yeah, that's an awesome question, and because that's happened to me a lot. As you're going through it, and you think like you start to forget the fact that first and foremost, it's you're not doing anything. I mean, you are. You need to be skilled when you deliver the adjustment. You need to be. But we're not healing anyone. And sometimes we forget that, and we think that it's us. And that we think, like, I'm a badass. It was me. Like, I did it. And then you start getting all these miracles, and it does. It happens a lot. But I will tell you this. The more that you recognize that it's not you, and you don't take credit for it, then all of a sudden it happens even more. Okay? Oh, wow. Yeah, I know, even more. And so as soon as people come in and they're like, I had this miracle, they don't say a miracle, but I had this happen, and it's like, you're not going to believe it. And just what I always tell them is because they'll say, do you think that had anything to do with chiropractic? And my response is always the same, and it's, well, did you do anything else besides getting adjusted? And they'll almost always say no. And so then I say, well, there's your answer, because I don't like to jump in and take credit for it. And it's just like, did you do anything else? No. Well, there's your answer. And then I ask them, why do you think that might be? And they start going into, I want to see how they understand what happened. And I want to make it very clear that it's them, that it's your body that's doing this. That this thing happened through you. This is your body that's created this change. And it's not that you had something, you didn't have this problem, it's that you were lacking something. And you got it back, you got your health back. And as you get your health back, your body works right. So all I'm doing is I'm being your helper. And as we can be very clear on that and keep our ego in check, you will see many, many, many more miracles. Wow. And what we talked about too a little bit before we got on and started recording was that John DeMartini is an awesome mentor of mine, and he talks about it's either you self-govern your ego or the universe will take charge of balancing that out for you. Right. So basically it's like if you're not able to balance it yourself and be like, I'm not going to take any credit, I'm not going to take any blame.
Jim Parker said that?
Jim Parker probably said
take
it, yes.
Credit, take no blame.
Take no credit, take no blame, yeah. And it's like self-govern, or it's like the universe will do it for you, and you'll get that amazing miracle, and like, look at how fucking awesome I am, I did that. Yeah. And then the next person will come in and be like, you hurt me, you fucked me up. Yeah. And so it's like, you kind of have to learn the hard way that keep the ego down, stay dropped in, stay humble, and you'll get many more.
So really to summarize that is like humble yourself, or the universe will humble you.
Do it for you.
The universe will send you it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That can be the second title of the video.
That'll
be for the next video.
All right, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Seminars.
Yep.
Man, by the end of the year, you're going to be sick of the sight of me.
No, man.
The last couple of weeks of my life, it was MLS in Bristol, then Steve Williams at BCC, then MLS in Toulouse. This week, I'm going to be with you in Barcelona.
Awesome.
And then a couple of times we're going to see each other in like Bournemouth, Birmingham, and again in Toulouse.
How could I get sick of you, brother? Come on. How could I possibly get sick of you?
I'll ask you at the end of the year. I'll be like, hey, you want to do another podcast? You're like, oh, I'm busy that week. I can't,
Yeah. Anyway, so it's always great having you. There's a lot of people who come and they'll repeat seminars. It's awesome because what people find is that they come once and they think, we have the extremes. We have people who go, oh, I've already done module A. Why would I do that again? And then I'm like, yeah, I get it. But it's kind of like, we think of it like a training. You're very, very well aware of that with MLS. It's like, you're going to become a master. What, are you going to roll out of bed and become a master? It's like we laugh about it at the seminars. You're just going to roll up the mountain of success, or you're going to train to get your black belt. And I see it like that. This is like a martial art. This is something to take seriously, and you can't expect to go to one seminar and be a black belt. And so we love that you're coming back and training with us. It's amazing. Love to have you. And that's what we hope for everybody. Come the first time, try it out, see what you get out of it. And it's a lot of times though, there's so many concepts and information. It's always nice to come and do it again a few times, and that way you can really start to integrate stuff and make some massive leaps. So yeah. And
it really, doing these seminars, it really cuts down the learning curve. I think that's why you should go, even if it's just out of pure selfishness. Like, I just want to cut my learning curve. These guys have done the work, and they know the quick systems that are going to be able to get you to achieve your goals faster. I laugh at people when they're like, oh, like, I'm not going to go to this seminar or that seminar because I found my own way. Like, I'm just going to figure it out for myself. Yeah, you're going to be the first chiropractor that's going to get really good. Yes. How egoic, like how arrogant would you need to be? Like, yeah, bro, you're going to be the first one to do it. If you could have done it and you were just going to figure it out, you would have done it already, but you didn't because you're stupid. And I don't mean that as in you are a stupid person. I mean humans just in general are stupid. Yeah. We need to learn by repetition. We need to learn by putting the hours in. So that's why you go to the seminar and you see like the hours and hours and hours of training that you guys have done, and then they're basically giving you a way to bypass all that stuff and just start seeing results. So go to it once, go with an open mind, and then if it resonates with you and you like it, keep going back again and again and again. Beautiful. And now I'm not going just to get the base blocks. Every time I go, I'm getting a little tiny refinement every time I go.
And you can see it in your training, man. So every time you come, we see that you're getting better and better. I mean, it's like some people think, how do you remember everybody? You have so many people at the seminars. I do, because I'm obsessed about this. It's like you guys coming to the seminar, it's like this is like my family, these are chiropractors coming in. I want the best for you guys. And so I remember Patrick and I, when we're done, we always sit down, generally over a few beers. We talk about what went great at the seminar, who did awesome, who needs a little bit of work, and then what we can do better for next time. And so just like we want to increase our adjusting skills and get better at that, it's like, who could possibly think, I've got it, I'm done. I'm
going to use what I learned in school, and then I'll just do that and develop on my own. Yeah. I don't need to learn anything new or advance it.
For me, I like to have role models, and I just follow what they did. I go and spend time with them, and I ask them, what did you do? How can I do it? And I copy them, and as I go through it, I develop my own thing. Yeah. But not going to beat a dead horse. Yeah. So I think you guys got it. We're happy to have anybody who wants to come train with us, whether it's a student or whether it's a chiropractor that's been doing it for a long time. I'm sure you get a lot out of training with us. We'd love to have you at our seminars. So
I met a guy once. I forget his name. I'm sorry, but this guy he's been in practice, I think, for 45 years. Old guy, and he's going and he's in the seminar. It was whenever we were down at the beach in Barcelona, and he's just kind of sitting, and then when you did seated cervical, he just came to life, man. He just started furiously taking notes, and he was raising his hand, and he's coming, and he's looking, and he just got fully engaged. And I had a coffee with him after we met at the coffee shop, and I was like, what, like, how long have you been in practice, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, so why did you come here? And he's like, oh, you know, like, most of the stuff I'm pretty sure about, but I really wanted to learn their approach to seated cervical. I've only been doing Godstead seated cervical. Usually I adjust supine, but if I was to adjust in the chair, the only way I know is I do it Godstead. I want to see what these guys are doing. And that guy is, if he can drop his ego and come, it's much easier for the students to come. Maybe they don't know so much. It's easier for those to say, I'm going to come and learn something new. Yeah. But the real ones that I like to go and meet are the ones that are seeing amazing miracles. They're doing some gangster stuff, and they're able to drop their ego and say, okay, I'm going to come and learn something new.
Absolutely, man. Those actually are some of my favorites, man. Those people who come and they've been at it for many, many, many years, and they decide to come train. And we talk about, you just leave your ego at the door. It's no big deal. We're all here training. There's no reason you should know how to do this automatically. You're not born knowing how to adjust, and especially this way. And so what we like to do is just really make it easy for people to like fail forward. So these old timers will come in, and it's like, it's awesome to see that. And they're like, yeah, I'm cool, man. I know how to adjust already, but I want to try this.
Try something new.
Try something new.
The little refinement.
Yeah, because it's all the mastery, and this is like, if anyone who's done any sort of sports or performance knows that mastery is in the details. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I did a lot of sports growing up, and I had a coach. I would never ever think about, oh, I'm done, I'm out of high school, I'm going to college level, and okay, I've had a coach the whole way through, now I'm going to go to professional and just not have a coach.
Yeah, I'm done with my learning.
Yeah. And so it's like, just have a coach. Get someone who's, like you were saying, like, we just have obsessed about this, and really shorten the learning curve, wherever you're at.
Yeah. And just to close up, something that you said to me a while ago really stuck with me. You were like, every time that we're coaching these students, we look at the students, so you're looking at the people in my year, and you're like, the guys in fourth year are so much more advanced than you were when you were at that level. And since you said that to me, I've been looking at, there's people now in first year that I look at, and I'm like, whoa, when these guys, and they're, you know, I'm 15 years behind you, these guys are 4 years behind me, and I'm like, when these guys get to fourth year, they're going to be seeing some amazing stuff. Yes. At the seminar I was at last weekend, there was a first year there doing, and he's furiously taking notes and asking questions and just pestering us all on the breaks and all, and I was like, this guy, he's another one. When he gets to fourth year, he just had so much confidence at the table, and you could just tell that he was so engaged. So going to these things, it feeds in, and it's going to advance the whole profession, even long after you've stopped learning. Any closing thoughts? Anything you want to wrap up with? Tell us a little bit about how we can get in touch with you. What Syntropy seminars you have coming up. Come this weekend in Barcelona. If you're watching this, I'm going to get this uploaded really quick now.
Awesome. Yeah. All right, yeah, so we'll be in Barcelona this weekend, and we're doing our occipital lift on Friday. If there's one adjustment that I could choose, and only one like you get one shot, it's the occipital lift for me, man. It's
your beautiful sniper.
That's the sniper shot. Yeah, it's amazingly powerful. We get all sorts of emails of chiropractors and messages from them saying how their life has changed since they've started receiving this adjustment, and how they've healed many chiropractors. It's pretty awesome. And then how it's transformed their practice. So that's on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday is going to be full spine module A. The rest of them you can go online. Just go to Syntropy Chiro Training, syntropychirotraining.com. It'll probably be in the explanation or in the description below. And just check it out. And if you want to join us and you feel called to, come join us. Love to have you. Thank you, and thank you for what you're doing, brother. This is good stuff.
Thank you for everything you've done for BCC, and you've been a great mentor to me. And black belt mentality is real.
That's it, brother. Awesome.